All right. Well, my name is Andre Taylor. I'm Shay's older brother. I love him so very much. Um, I've talked to the media yesterday, a few media outlets, and I explained to them that initially when I heard about it, I live in Los Angeles, and of course it was devastating. You know, I was frantic. As anyone who loves someone would be. I don't think that story is exotic, as I say, rare. I think anybody can relate to a loss of anybody that you love and what that would do to you. How devastated one would be. And so I was devastated. But I'm here now to find some justice for my brother. I saw the video, and of course I was distraught by it, but if I can be transparent with you, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked because you see this happening all over this country. And as of late, other Americans outside of Black Americans are seeing what we've been seeing for many, many years. We've seen it in our community for hundreds of years. And it just so happened that at this time we have the technology that our cameras can show some of the things to the rest of the world that we've been experiencing. So I wasn't shocked that they would get out and, in my perspective of things, kill my brother. Yes, they did have on tactical uniforms and assault rifles. And I think that it appeared to me that they were coming to kill something, and I think they met their objective. They were in unmarked cars, and we know, and per what I heard when I was in Los Angeles from the chief saying that the reason and what happened was there was a suspicious car that they were following. And, I think one of the worst things that happens, in our society is that when a tragedy happens like this, the police has the opportunity to set the narrative, you know. And for a long time, they've been trusted amongst most Americans, not as much in our communities. But when you have an opportunity to set the narrative and the media who trust the police, who've had relationship with them, spin that narrative without actually giving us due process or giving us the opportunity to have a different story, it's hard to dig out of that mountain of that narrative. You're swarmed because the power of the media and the authority of the police. And so this is the process that we are in right now, digging out of a narrative that was placed forward that has always been in this country. Someone says, well, he had a criminal record. Maybe he did. And but we see around the country that doesn't always, that's not the situation always, because Tamir Rice was a little boy. So we see that even though there's always an excuse of why one should be shot. There's always an excuse, And I told one of the news people yesterday that, it's really not a black story. It's really an American problem. And what gives me some type of hope is that even though mostly black people are affected by this, that there are a lot of white Americans that are standing up with us all over this country. And that makes me feel a little support, and I appreciate that. Now, of course, when you go through things, you lash out and you have distaste in your mouth. And if you're not careful, you can begin to despise all white people. Not me in general, but viewing the troubles over the years, it could make you feel that way. But when you see white people, white Americans, that are standing in truth and standing for some of the injustices that we see, it makes your heart feel good. So I'm happy about that. I love my brother. I know that you guys don't know him, but I can tell you a little bit about him. I loved him. He had $1 million smile, and he had a major, beautiful, big heart. He would help anybody. And yes, he did 22 years. And when he got out, I explained to somebody, it takes a process. Having a redemptive story takes a process. It doesn't happen overnight. After being in a condition of 22 years in a place that makes you think differently about things, makes you operate differently than being in the free world. So when you get out, it takes a process. You just don't automatically become who the police must have thought he should have been. Perfect. And I said yesterday, if the criteria for a man's life to live in the police eyes is for a man to be perfect, then I guess only the police will be alive. I mean, they consider themselves perfect. If that is indeed the criteria, you know. So I'm going to open it up for any questions, but I just wanted to share my thoughts about the situation. I'm here to go to war. I'm here to go to war.